It's 8 p.m. in Banjul. This is the news. First, the headlines. Working towards achieving food self-sufficiency status, thousands of volunteers arrived in major rice production belts in the Central River region to take part in farming activities there. Actors in the country's higher education sector and partners meet for a 5-day training on STI data collection for production of R&D innovation indicators. Authorities in Pyongyang say Communist North Korea will restart work at the controversial Yongbyon nuclear facility years after it was shut down. And come and help us. That is the plea coming from a desperately worried Macedonian amid tension among European states over the spiraling migrant crisis. Well, these and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I'm WINIFRED NICOL. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, has received a congratulatory message from the Alcalo and community of Wilingara, and the message reads, "We wish to convey our utmost acknowledgement of your successes in the last 21 years. We renew our loyalty and commitment to your Excellency, and we will continue to rally behind you and the APRC party so that you lead our dear country to a prosperous nation. Your Excellency, the exemplary leadership quality and your love for humanity is conspicuous enough to confirm your successes. The FAO Awards and many others speak volume of your pure Pan-Africanism and the love for the total independence of Africa. The pardoning of hundreds of prisoners, especially those convicted of treason, manifests your true Islamic faith of magnanimity and mercy to even those who offended you. We therefore pray for you and the entire Force family, good health, long life, and God's guidance to lead our dear country to an economic superpower nation. Once again, we assure you of our loyalty and promise that come 2016 presidential elections, the electorate of Wilingara will vote for you massively as usual." The text of the message from Mohammed Zain of Banjul reads, "Greetings in the name of Allah. Mr. President, may you live long. May Allah continue to guide you. May He bless you and that you intend to do for our beloved country. Your Excellency, it is a great pride that I write you this letter after listening to your 21st anniversary of the July 22nd Revolution speech. Sir, when I heard the news of Your Excellency's declaration in the exercise of your prerogative of mercy, I was so full of joy that I joined so many Gambians in Mauritania in calling home to share the good news and joy. Sir, that was a great move. That have closed the mouths of critics and few unpatriotic Gambians in the diaspora who have been hostile to your government and that Gambian people. This shows your love for humanity and the action of a true Muslim by giving all these prisoners a second chance. Imagine the joy and happiness this brought to their families in respect to their children, fathers, mothers, wives, cousins. Sir, it has never happened in the history of the world. The Gambia has set a standard in the world. Let them learn from your dynamic leadership style," it concludes. Farming activities in the Vision 2016 fields across the country are gaining momentum, particularly in the rice production centers of Pacha and Tabanani in the Central River region, where hundreds of volunteers continue to flock there to conquer the task at hand. Our Asian Silver witnessed activities in these vast terrains and reports. Work there is showing no sign of abating.
Here just last week to work on the vast Vision 2016 fields in the rice production centers of Pachar and Tabanani in the Central River region. And today they came back on the same ground for the same purpose.
We were here on Sunday and we left on Wednesday, but before we leave, we all saw what was going on around here. We saw the investment on these rice fields, and we've seen how the rice fields were doing. And it would not be in anybody's interest to see it fail. And for that matter, the people of North Bank took it on themselves to go and have a holiday, a 2 days rest, and then come back.
The hundreds of volunteers descended on the upland fields of Tabanani to remove weeds from this early maturing Narika rice, which is steadily growing to maturity.
Seeing is believing. We've seen what is happening here, and that alone is motivation for us, because we know how these things are going to end up. It's not going to end up in President Jammeh's store for him to feed himself. Whatever he's doing here is for our own benefits.
Half of the volunteer corps here are from the North Bank region, and they were led to the fields by Deputy Governor Tafa Seidi, APRC party mobilizers, and traditional rulers, who both described their action as a show of loyalty to Professor Jammeh.
We're benefiting from a lot from President Jammeh. We want to repay him, just a small token, because that's what we can. It cannot be compared to what he's doing for us.
Also present on the ground are people of the northern Senegalese settlement of Porohan. The Senegalese counterparts define their convergence here as a result of their strong admiration to the Gambian leader. The farm manager of the Vision 2016 farms in the Central River region, Major Sidi Balde, was very pleased with what he called a timely intervention by these volunteers.
I am very, very happy and thankful to those who came to help, particularly the volunteers, people that came all the way from Senegal. They left all the way from Senegal and they left their families just for the love of His Excellency the President.
The man at the helm of things on the ground also paid glowing tribute to Gambians for lending their support to the Gambian leaders' farming activities, which he said, if continued, will no doubt complement the Vision 2016 drive.
I am very, very happy that people are responding to the calls of food self-sufficiency. You go not only his fields, you go here around Pachar, everywhere, Jahali, everywhere you see, women are gone to the fields, men have gone to the fields, people have gone back to the land, and that alone is a pride for all of us.
In a few weeks' time, most of these crops will be due for harvest, and things could be very overwhelming for the farm manager, who is continuing his appeal for the general public to double their efforts and numbers on the ground to conquer the task at hand. Etienne Silva, GRTS.
The Association of Chief Financial Officers of Banks in the Gambia, under the auspices of the Gambia Bankers Association, have organized a training for directors, company secretaries, senior executives on the International Financial Reporting Standards and the Companies Act 2013. The convergence, as we hear in this report, seeks to equip participants with the requisite skills in international financial reporting standards and the understanding of the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Isoduketa reports.
Have since 2013 been preparing their published accounts in accordance with international finance reporting standards, which was also in compliance with directives from the central bank. The Companies Act of 2013 was then issued to replace that of 1955, which saw the need for bankers to be au fait with the new act, as well as the International Finance Reporting Standard, in short IFRS. It was for this reason that the Gambia Bankers Association organized a training for senior officials of commercial banks to highlight the difference between IFRS and the Companies Act of 2013 and that of 1955.
As directors and company secretaries, we are signatories to these published accounts, and it is in our interest to understand the accounts and to understand the differences between the previously published accounts that we have been prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and those now being prepared under IFRS. Companies Act 2013 to replace the 1955 Act, it is also important for us to know and understand what has changed.
We call that the Gambian authorities subjected the country to a report on standards and codes, auditing and accounting, review to assess the strength and weaknesses of auditing and accounting in the Gambia. The resultant report revealed, among others, the following shortcomings. There are no standard setting arrangements, and this contributes to the weaknesses in the financial reporting environment. Apart from ensuring compliance with prudential regulations by the Central Bank of the Gambia, No organization has a mechanism in place for ensuring compliance with accounting and auditing standards. Based on the findings, the report recommended development of a country action plan with specific activities to be implemented under the auspices of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs in collaboration with all stakeholders and support from the development partners in order to strengthen the accountancy profession and build a strong financial reporting infrastructure to enhance corporate financial reporting in the Gambia.
As the Bankers Association stands to promote continuous professional development of its members and other professionals, this training therefore seeks to equip participants with skills in international finance reporting standards and to deepen their understanding of the provisions of the Companies Act 2013.
This period almost coincided with tremendous reforms in related sector of the economy, including the introduction of a single window registry for companies to expedite incorporation. This will create an enabling environment for both local and foreign entrepreneurs to flourish in the country. I therefore implore you to give these issues the utmost attention for the socio-economic development of this country, namely IFRS and the Companies Act 2013.
If given the utmost attention needed, the training could serve as a springboard in the dissemination of knowledge and ensure common understanding for all stakeholders when it comes to the smooth implementation of the IFRS in the country. Aissatou Keita, GRTS.
The Gambia Supreme Islamic Council would like to inform the general public that Tuesday, the 15th of September 2015, will be the first day of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th month of the Muslim calendar, and the day of Arafat will be on Wednesday, 23rd September 2015. Therefore, the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, in collaboration with Imam Ratib of Banjul, wishes to announce to the general public that Thursday, the 24th of September 2015, will be the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah, 1436 Hijj. Therefore, Eid al-Adha, locally known as Tobaski, will be observed in the Gambia on Thursday, the 24th of September 2015. Council, the release adds, would like to wish His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, his government and the entire Muslim Ummah in the Gambia a blessed celebration of the feast of Eid al-Adha. May Allah accept our prayers, continue to guide and bless this nation, and bring back more and more Eid al-Adha. It is a day specifically set aside by the United Nations for the preservation of the ozone layer. The day marks the signing of the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer in 1987. In observance of the day, the Minister of Environment, Parks and Wildlife has delivered a televised statement on this year's celebrations. Let's take a listen.
The 16th of September every year is observed as International Day for the protection and preservation of the ozone layer. The day is celebrated by 197 countries that ratified the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer. This year coincides with the 30th anniversary of the Vienna Convention for the Protection of the Ozone Layer, an important milestone in the protection of the ozone layer. The theme for the celebration of the anniversary and this year's International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer is 30 years of healing the ozone together, with the slogan, ozone, all there is between you and UV, that is ultraviolet. The theme celebrates the collective efforts of the parties to the Vienna Convention and the Montreal Protocol in protecting the ozone layer over the past 3 decades. And the supporting slogan highlights the importance of the ozone layer in protecting life on Earth from the harmful effects of ultraviolet. As a result of concerted global efforts, the ozone layer is healing itself and is expected to recover by the middle of this century. In addition, up to 2 million cases of skin cancer may be prevented each year by 2030, and significant adverse effects on agriculture, wildlife, fisheries, and materials have been avoided. With the signing into law of the ozone depleting substances regulation by His Excellency Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Yaya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, it was awarded a plaque by the United Nations Environment Program in recognition of her outstanding role in the protection and preservation of the ozone layer. The 16th of September every year.
The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, in partnership with the Mall of the Gambia, on Tuesday launched a week-long business platform dubbed GCCI Mall of the Gambia Tobaski Sale. The idea is to cater for pre-Tobaski sales ahead of the major feast. Ibrahim Jallo witnessed the launching and files in this report.
It is the launching of GCCI Mall of Gambia Tobaski Sale, providing the opportunity for shoppers and traders to interact and satisfy each other's needs in a commercial context. The sales week being launched at the Bakote-based Mall of Gambia grounds has begun in earnest to end on the 22nd September 2015. The main purpose of the initiative is to attend to the shopping needs of Muslims in the country ahead of the feast of Eid al-Adha, locally known as Tobaski, given the fact that different goods will be off for sale during the promotional period.
His Excellency
Speaking at the launching, the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Trade, Regional Integration and Employment, Nafi Bari, hailed GCCI and the Mall of Gambia for coming up with such a business platform, while calling on shoppers to make best use of the opportunity.
The government of the Gambia recognizes the importance of the private sector and indeed the small and medium enterprises, and that is the reason why we try and support all the endeavors of the private sector, particularly the small and medium enterprises.
I just want to see you are the winners and seekers of economy. So I want to see you all win the economy and seek it. Make this program your own program,
The Chairman Board of Directors of GCCI, Suleiman Juf, underscored the importance of the Tobaski sales. He also used the opportunity to announce the holding of the 9th edition of the GCCI International Trade Fair from 19 December 2015 to the 10th of January 2016.
As Tobaski is fast approaching, and we will need somewhere to do our shopping for the event. That is why we partnered with Mall Gambia to provide you a convenient place in the heart of Bangkok.
The week-long commercial engagement is expected to not only ease the burden on shoppers, but also increase sales for participating businesses. Ibrahim Jallo, Grts News.
After enjoying life as students at one of the Gambia's oldest senior secondary schools, former students of Armitage Senior Secondary School are giving back to their alma mater. The Ex-Students Association recently renovated the school's dining hall, giving it a new facelift. This move, as Buba SMCC reports, was spearheaded by the association's honorary mother, the Vice President of the Gambia, Her Excellency, Madam Aissatou Njie Sedi.
Armitage Ex-Students Association is committed to giving back to its alma mater in cash and in kind. This latest gesture is meant to improve the condition of the school's dining hall. The principal, Mr. Suleiman Keita, expressed gratitude to the past students behind this move, assuring them of his office's continuous collaboration for the improvement of the school.
So the renovation going on by the Ex-Students Association is going to play a key role even in the standard of the students' performance. They are going to perform more than the previous years. I have this belief. Because if they are in the hall, they are seated comfortably, the fan is going on, the place is calm, they will eat to their satisfaction. But if the place is very much hot, there is no fun, nothing absolutely. Obviously, they'll be in a haste to move out. They may not eat to their satisfaction. But now that they have all those facilities on the ground, it's going to be good.
And yeah, we are definitely now very grateful with the Office of the Vice President, Madam Aissatou Njie Sedi, our honorary mother. We call her our honorary mother. She's the honorary mother of the association, And then we thank her, with the entire staff at the Office of the Vice President. They have been ever welcoming. Whenever we call, they never hesitate to pick our calls. And then when we approach them for this, we were in fact invited, and then we discussed with them, and then they talked, some institutions. So through them, we are indebted of, unlimited thanks and appreciation goes to NAWEC, and then GAMTEL. We are definitely very grateful, and we'll keep, appealing. Let other ex-students, come on board.
Maintenance and sustainability are the two watchwords stressed by the board chairman, Mr. Kaundin Tambedu.
I am very, very happy. In fact, the ceiling fans, the painting of this place, and many is too much of expenditure. People come into our aid, bring in many things to the school. Another thing is, how do we sustain that? We'll talk to them very seriously so that they become responsible. They become responsible citizens tomorrow.
We have nothing to pay Armitage except to do good, to return good back to Armitage. This is why we are here today, to do this little work for Armitage, that is the renovation of this dining hall. Because we know Armitage, everything lies in this dining hall. Our food, programs, we do all those things in this dining hall. So therefore, it is an obligation to us to do our quota to Armitage.
Armitage Ex-Students Association is established, among other things, to give back to its alma mater through individuals, institutions, organizations that care to invest some of their corporate profits and where the dividends grow. This association firmly believes that resources spent on students' welfare are resources wisely invested. Buba SMCC, GRTS.
That report by Buba SMCC takes us to a first break, but we'll be back with news from outside the Gambia. Stay tuned.
What would you do if you had $10,000 from AfriCell this Tobaski?
I would buy a big Tobaski ram for my family and also get the nicest half-tan made for me. I can buy 2 rams instead of 1.
AfriCell is back again with the biggest Tobaski promotion ever, offering up to $2.5 million cash. And every day, 10 lucky AfriCell subscribers will each get to win $10,000 cash.
But that's not all. Every Friday, the winners will double up to 20 winners for $10,000 each, making it $200,000 cash.
Simply call or SMS 1010 every day for only $3 to be part of the daily live draw on Afri Radio at 9 p.m.
Alhamdulillah la njëkkoon a wax sax bu ñu waxee wii nga lii waaw nga gëmuma ko woon daal xanaa di leen ñaanal di leen sant
yéen a figure yéen a man ñëpp moo wax dëgg na ñaan. So SMS or call 1010 now. AfriCell wishes you a happy Tobaski the AfriCell way.
Welcome back. North Korea has confirmed it has restarted its controversial Yongbyon nuclear reactor. The reactor is seen as the country's main sources of weapons-grade plutonium. Experts say it can produce 6 kilos of plutonium a year, enough to build a nuclear bomb. Yongbyon was shut down in 2007 as part of a disarmament deal. But North Korea started renovating the reactor in 2013. We have details in this news report.
Further provocations came just as inter-Korean relations have begun to warm up again with planned inter-Korean talks and family reunions of the separated families of the Korean War next month. And it shows just how much mercurial, volatile, and unstable the reclusive regime is. And the recent statement by Pyongyang haven't generated much of a surprise, as many analysts here have been predicting that the North will carry out another rocket launch in October to mark the 70th anniversary of the founding of its ruling Workers' Party. And as a result, local experts in South Korea have mostly agreed that the planned round of high-level inter-Korean talks should take place as soon as possible to bar North Korea from going through with the launch.
And Jian, just briefly, do we know how close is Pyongyang to developing nuclear warheads for its rocket arsenal?
Well, determining North Korea's nuclear capability is highly disputed by experts themselves, so it remains unclear. But Pyongyang has claimed that it had made a device small enough to fit a nuclear warhead onto a missile, and U.S. officials and experts say it's difficult to verify that claim and really assess the progress the North has made up due to the lack of information. But remember that North Korea claimed back in 2006 and 2009 and 2013 that it has successfully conducted nuclear tests, and some analysts have said that it used plutonium in the amount believed enough to produce at least 6 bombs. So to answer your question, technically, yes, it seems the North is inching closer to developing nuclear warheads, but not yet the means to deliver it via a missile.
All right, Jian Kim, thank you so much.
Thousands of people are arriving in Europe, being continually utilized at a strategic point of the route to Europe. Macedonia is now appealing for help with this massive influx. CNN senior international correspondent Ivan Watson reports from its southern border.
This is the border between Greece and Macedonia, an informal crossing point through which refugees and migrants have been streaming through by the thousands, more than 8,600 people in a single 24-hour period. Hi, Ahlan wa sahlan.
Good morning.
Where are you from?
Syria.
Syria?
Syria.
Where are you going?
Syria and Finland.
Finland?
Yeah.
Okay. Almania. So you hear these people identifying themselves as Syrian refugees, saying that they're either going to Finland or Germany. We've heard many people say that they want to go to Sweden as well. This is an improvised journey that people are on. This is not a formal route. It's been kind of cobbled together, and the Greek and the Macedonian authorities, for example, have been allowing it to take place, allowing these people to move through as swiftly as possible to move them on to their next destination.
Goodbye.
Most of the people we've spoken with began their international journey by boat, by small, unsafe, overcrowded smugglers' dinghies traveling from the Turkish coast to Greek islands. And that's where tragedy struck before dawn on Sunday when one of these vessels overturned. At least 34 people drowned. Among the victims, 15 children, 4 of them were infants. Now, for those who have made it here to Macedonia, the next leg of the journey will likely be aboard a train that will travel the length of Macedonia to the next country on the migrant trail, and that is Serbia. A challenge will now be posed as some European countries have announced that they're going to tighten restrictions on their borders. And we're getting warnings that as those policies get put into place, we could start to see bottlenecks at border crossings like this one, where people once moved quite smoothly by the thousands. We could start to see buildups of migrants and refugees. Ivan Watson, CNN, at the Macedonian border with Greece.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. Working towards achieving food self-sufficiency status, thousands of volunteers have arrived in major rice production belts in the Central River region to take part in farming activities there. Actors in the country's higher education sector and partners are meeting for a 5-day training on STI data collection for production of R&D innovation indicators. Authorities in Pyongyang have said that the communist North Korea will restart work at the controversial Yongbyon nuclear facility years after it was shut down. And come and help us. That is the plea coming from a desperately worried Macedonian amid tension among European states over the spiraling migrant crisis. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 8. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Enjoy the rest of our programs.